Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Amma ba'da. Ibadullah, today is Sunday, the day that we talk about our subject on manhood, rijal or rujula. Today, I just want to give some thoughts. Some thoughts, my opinions, and that's what it is. Just rethinking the issue because we know we're all aware that so many things come through social media a lot outside of the amount of people that I may come into contact with. But you see a lot of things on social media, and in particular with certain groups, for example, that's on Facebook that maybe deal with issues that maybe marriage groups, whatever it may be, and other groups that may not be particular for marriage, but in any case, you have groups where it's men in the group, women in the group, and people are putting forth issues and questions and stuff. And one of the issues that come up uh, that, for whatever reason, I tend to see um, more often than I need to is the issue of the mahr, the bridal gift, the gift that the man gives to the woman at the marriage. First of all, you know, regardless of or irregardless of what is the exact position or way of how it initiates with regard to the woman receiving the bridal gift, whether it's the man initiating, here's what I'm going to offer you, what I have to offer you. Do you agree with it? Or the woman saying, hey, I want this amount. Uh, you know, in the reverse, do you agree with that? Or this is what I want, this is what I'm asking for. So the issue, on the other hand, mainly comes with, the women asking for um, an amount, and whether that amount is $5,000, $10,000, 20,000, 30, or beyond. Um, you know, it's we're not, gonna go back and forth about whether, uh, what's too high or too much. But I will say one thing. Um, which I think most people already understand, that it should be what a man should give what's within his means. You know, whether he initiates it or he agrees to something, it should be within his means, not something that's going to break him. Not something that's going to that he would have to be working to repay, or something that he might take a loan, or even that the marriage has to be postponed for a long time unnecessarily. Um, and depending on the person's situation, if they could wait that long, that's fine as well. For him to save up to get the amount. And I'm gonna just say there are a lot of problems, a lot of different issues regarding marriage, and particularly I see this conversation come up a lot amongst the either the reverse, or let's say second generation um, um, Muslims that are maybe indigenous to this part of the world. So this issue comes up a lot. I think, and I could be wrong, but just with my knowledge or experience with other cultures, they have their issues, but is they have their urf, which they already are kind of aware of. So it's things are said in a different way. Um, and it may be, and but people must that culture may not always agree with it, or whatever it may be, you know what I mean, and understand and recognize hardship, and they may want to change, especially the youth of these times. you know um, you know They may be tired of what the culture may say because it may be putting hardship on them. Um, yeah. So I know, for example, I know people, and I'm not gonna even mention what country they're from, and and I witnessed this, or knew of these stories while being in those countries. They're predominantly Muslim lands, right? Where, for example, um, in part of their earth or their traditions, is that the male, he has to have a place, which, you know, that's fine. I don't see why that should be a problem. That he has to own a place, okay? That he has to own a place. So they don't really care for the rentals, So the man, when he's gonna marry, before the marriage is completed, they can do the khitbah, where they make like the as we say over here, the intentions and the agreement that they're gonna get married. So that's the engagement period. But before that marriage takes place, happens that that flat, that or that home or whatever, or has to be in place. He has to own it. So that's what a lot of them, what they have to go through. Now I've known, for example, and they have some other conditions too that may sound strange to some of us. For example, I knew a guy who, he had a flat, right? It was not, it wasn't finished yet, so he had to do the finish. He owned it. He had to do the finishings and everything. Okay, and he had a business. He had his own business. Okay, and his business. Think about this. His business, and I'm gonna tell you another story too, because others just popped in my mind. His business was selling halal meats, right? And it was a little small grocery store. So he had like the essentials that people need: beans and rice and pasta and cheese, and meat. Okay, oil. This is what his business, what he was selling, his own business. I don't know how well he was really doing. I used to buy shop with him at times, and I see he had customers, and he was open. So I don't know how well he was doing, but it was his own business. So how well he was doing, I don't know. But he couldn't get married to a girl because the family wanted him to have a job. Now, some people over here, we were like, huh? He got his own business. And he owns his place. He owns his place. He just gotta, fix it up, get the electrical stuff, because they, when they get place, so they get shells at times, so they gotta, get the electrical stuff in, the plumbing in, and and all that, and usually, I think at sometimes they save that for when they with the girls, they can try to kind of design it themselves, like what type of lights and stuff, and the paint color, and this room is going to be there, so they do that kind of together at times. Some do, some don't, they different things. But anyway, it's something but he owns the space, he owns the place already, right? And he got his own business. What are the essentials that you would think people need in life? A place to stay, right? Food, clothing, and shelter, right? So he got the shelter, he got the food. What else do you need? But yeah, so that condition of him having to have another job, with a company or some company or government job or something, was like a condition that he had to have, right? So this guy, he was like on the, I'll say, in the mid spectrum, in the on the financial, as far as like your family background and stuff like that, because they also have like people at different levels, what I'm saying, of finance and stuff. But he was doing okay, from what I saw. Okay. And so then there was another guy, what I'm saying, same country, um but I would consider him, his family, their people to be a little bit, have a little bit more, you know what I mean? But same thing. This brother, sorry, he had a nice restaurant. I liked that. I frequented that restaurant. He was also was a student of mine, as well, and so I like his restaurant was a nice restaurant. Now, for me as an American, and for that restaurant over there, I was like, man, that was a nice place. Food was good, the setting was good. So I used to go there and and study at times. You know what I mean? I have me a little meal and read a little bit. Make sometimes might do my revision of whatever homework or something like that, and just relax. And study and eat. Have me something to drink or whatever. It was a nice environment, a nice, relaxed, chill, seating, everything. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, and I saw him doing well. The business was doing well. People in there buying stuff. It's at times, it would be, and it was so nice and spacious. Where you could still have a lot of people, but you still had you still felt like you got your own space. Where you could, so it was nice, and so. And so same thing, you know. I can't recall. Don't quote me. I can't recall if he already had a flat or not, but I think he did. You know. But again, the issue, it was a girl that he wanted to marry as well. Sat with the family and everything. But the family wanted him to have a job. Okay. All right. The family wanted him to have a job that was, with a company or something of that nature. You know, and it's not to say he didn't have the ability to get a job or anything, but he had his own business, right? And so he was, actually in the process of, looking for a job, to meet these demands. So that being aside, people have issues, challenges to get married at times, even when they may have the means. Now, coming back to us over here in America, you know, um, or wherever, because this is social media now. Because people could be from, I don't really check and see if this person from here, this place, or whatever may be. They could be from anywhere, but apparently they seem to be most likely people of reverts. Okay, and I'm sorry, but our issues are our issues. We got different many issues. So this issue comes with the mahr, or the gift that the man pays, gift for the woman at the time of marriage. And so some brothers be like, man, that's too high. I won't pay no 5,000. I won't pay no 7,000. I won't pay no 10,000. This and that. I'll do this. I'll do something else. I even hear brothers, I won't pay for this, but I'll pay for a Hajj. Like that's a whole nother story. And but or different things like five people act like $5,000 or $6,000 or $10,000 is a lot of money. It's really, think about it, brothers. This is for my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling the sisters to be making it high and hard like this. That's not what I'm here to say either. Okay, that's not what's going on. That's not what I'm saying. So, sisters, jack the price up. He should pay that, because some of y'all gonna be, I believe y'all gonna be single for a long time. What I'm saying, waiting for 20 and 30, 40,000 or whatever y'all be asking for. And if y'all comfortable with that, be to each their own. I'm not knocking it. To each their own. So the longer you want to wait and be like that, fine. Say to each their own. So don't get on me. I'm not knocking you if that's what you choose to do. You know what I mean? But, just, if you're not, saying, if you could wait long enough to you find all of that, fine. I'm not, I'm not saying that's an issue or problem right now. That's not what I'm here at. What I am talking about right now is my brother saying that like $5,000 is a lot. Now, I just want to put this out. It's really not a lot of money, because think about it. If you do, if you do marry a sister, a good sister, or whatever, y'all was compatible enough to get married, right? And y'all together. And now think about it. If we, God forbid, hashallah, that y'all get divorced, but it happens, unfortunately. It happens all the time. So y'all get divorced, right? Now, if this sister was basically dependent upon you, okay, right? And I'm not getting into my other views about, sisters working and things. Although I will just say this, I do believe that women should have something. You know what I mean? Don't be 100% dependent upon any man in these times, especially in times where you're reverse and you know what I'm saying, you've been on your own anyway or whatever. You ain't got families to help you support you. I am, you know, since sisters, get something, establish yourselves. You know what I'm saying, so that you're not totally dependent. But anyway, moving, skip, fast forward from that, or you know, the if you were to, right, brother, marry a sister, okay, and then divorce happens, okay, what happens to that sister, right? What happens to her, right? Okay, you divorced her, okay. What type of man are you going to be? You know what I'm saying? May Allah forgive all of us for our many shortcomings, right? So, are you one? You renting a place, own a place, whatever it may be. Now you divorced. The talaq is final, right? What you gonna do? What the sister gonna do right now? Are you gonna kick her out on the streets? Okay, all right. If it's your place that you own, okay, what are you gonna do? You know, she doesn't have anywhere to go. What are you gonna do? Are you going to kick her out on the streets? Okay. Now, if you're renting the place, same, right? You're renting the place, but you're paying for the place. How, you know? Are you gonna, you know, move on somewhere else and stop paying for this place? Where the sister gonna go? Okay. 3 months pass. Her iddah is finished. What does she do now? Right? She don't have nothing else yet. What are you gonna do, brother? Are you going to help her? Are you going to assist her in the you know, until she able to, you know, get a job and, you know, get on her feet? You know, um, does she still have the mahr? How much did you give her? No, so you know, and just think, even if you gave her $5,000, which some brothers are saying, oh, that's a whole lot of money, right? That's a whole lot of money. I'm not paying them out. Sisters getting rich off me. Rich? Come on, no. Come on, really think. What is $500 gonna do? And God, for, you know, forbid, depending on what city you live in, right? Some cities, you know, maybe that 5,000 will go long, but it ain't going too long. Because I'm just thinking at minimum, you know, in certain cities, man, you know, can you get a studio for 500? It's hard. It's hard to find that. You know what I'm saying? You know, so you have to be in some far out place in a trailer park somewhere probably to find something that you can get for $500 a month. And at that rate, okay, you gave her 5,000 and just say she was, you know, smart enough not to spend that, and she still had that $5,000 at least, you know, when at the time of this divorce. Where's that gonna take her? You know what I mean? So $500 a month, honestly, you know, can she, okay, if she's able to pay $500 a month for, you know, a year for the rent, that's, it's gonna be gone, right? It's not, she ain't gonna make it throughout the year. What about utilities? Okay. What about food? Okay, all right, she got to go to the government and get food share or food stamps, whatever it may be. Okay. What's next? What about transportation to try to find work? You know, does she already have a car or whatever transportation? You know, even so, the basic insurance on that. You know, we're not talking about what insurance. Hold on, we ain't doing all that. But basic, you know, even liability, right? Gas, you know, unexpected repairs. Brothers, come on, stop with this. That's so much. You know what I'm saying? It's something. It's just something. So saying 5,000 is a lot. No, that's number one. Number two, think about it now. If you are intending, you want to get married, start thinking from the, so if you were thinking, okay, sisters are asking for 10,000 or 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20,000. Okay, maybe some sisters are ask for that, and you know what I'm saying, and whatever. Okay, let that be the case. Okay, if at the time that you decide, hey man, I need to get married, and I want to get married, I want to start looking for a wife. At that time, ikhwan, start saving. Start saving. Can you put up $200 a month towards your marriage? Right? From the time you start thinking about it, because you got, I will hope, from the time you start thinking about it, you think about it, not one day someone say, hey, bruh, what you think about this sister? You want to, you know what I'm saying, marry, you know what I'm saying? She's looking for a husband. I know you single. So that might be something on the fly, and you like, okay, and you start to, think, so he talked up, but she's good or whatever. So, okay, so you think about it right now. So that might be something on the fly. You didn't get now. Y'all think, okay, I think about it, I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? You pray this card or whatever you gonna do, and you want to do it now. And so then you meet her. You know what I'm saying? Introduce and man, okay, she sounded good. So that's on the fly. You wasn't thinking about marriage or whatever. That's on the fly. So now, okay, man, I really ain't prepared. You know what I'm saying? And now there's the Mahr. Oh man, 5,000. Yeah, that might be because you wasn't ready. You wasn't prepared. I get that. And let's just compare that to the situation, because so many brothers want to bring up that the narration of when the Sahabiya, she came and she offered herself to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he wasn't interested, and another companion said, hey, Ya Rasulullah, hey, marry her to me. What do you have? Go home to your family and see if you get and bring bring something. He came, but he ain't got nothing. Go find something. Do this. He said, at least can you do this? You got at least a ring, iron ring. See, right? So bring something, right? So, and then it came down to, okay, marry her from what the Quran you have. Brothers, stop that. Now, again, that was on the fly. So if it comes that it happened to be on the fly like that, maybe this is said, brother, I would like 5,000 for my Mahr. So I said, that's too much. I don't have that right now. Because what? It's on the fly. I understand. You know what I mean? Y'all thinking about, 2 months or 3 months. You don't have it right now. Because right now, you're like, okay, you just met her. You know what I'm saying? You like her. You want to go ahead and, you think you can be compatible. Okay, so you want to make it happen. And you don't want to be too long. Because now, so maybe the connection is there or whatever it may be. The shahwa and desires start to popping up. So you don't want to make it long. So now you just, okay, I got my little spot. You know what I'm saying? And I got a job, I'm working, but I ain't got much money in the bank, or I got a little something in the bank, but so I don't want to break my bank or whatever it may be, you know what I mean? So I understand. So you want to just give her something nice, maybe $1,000 or buy her a ring or something, whatever, alhamdulillah, whatever she is satisfied with, khalas. I understand. That's on the fly, right? So saying like 5 or 10, like, whoa, that's big. I can't do that now. Why? Because you wasn't prepared. Move that aside. You thinking about it. You're planning. You want to do it. You start entering matrimonial sites. You know what I mean? Signing up for that. You start getting on Facebook groups or whatever other groups that might be out there that deal with marriage and hooking up or whatever it may be. Okay? So you actively trying to find a wife, right? How long now that since you thought about it, since you started to make plans on it, that before it actually happens, okay? So I would probably think at the time that I started thinking about it, like, man, I need to get married now, saying, so maybe in a year or two from now, you know what I mean? So let me start getting ready for that, right? We in a different times, right? We're in different times where, okay, things are expensive. We got water bills, you know what I'm saying? We got light bills. We got the energy heating bill. So we ain't out chopping wood anymore. We ain't, opening up to the sunlight, saying that when the sun go down, everything is over and, maybe got some candles or whatever, so we got all these things that we need and, to expenses that, didn't necessarily exist years and years, say hundreds of years ago, right? So we have more expenses and things are different, right? So start preparing since you want to get married. So prepare yourself also financially. Put away $200 a month towards your marriage. That's, you should do that. $200 250, 300, or more if you can. 500, put it away for the marriage. One, you can say, okay, if you put away 500 a month, okay, maybe 250 for, you know, whatever you need in the marriage or time or whatever, and the other 250 going towards whatever that mahr may be. Think about it. You put away 250 a month, so it's the system, you know what I'm saying? And after 2 years, you got your 5 stacks. You got your 5 bands, whatever you want to call it. You got your 5,000, your 5Gs, whatever. You got your 5,000 for that marriage now, right? After what, 2 years or whatever, right? And even if minimum of that, okay, put away $200 a month. This towards your marriage. This towards a sister that you're going to honor. That you're going to honor her. So the part of the dowry is from that. You know what I'm saying? As is some honor, and respect in it. You know what I mean? That mahr, that's what it's for, brothers. That's part of what that's for. Okay, so give that. Start saving for it if you already planned it. You know, so you know if you've been on Muslim matrimonials or whatever they got, or polygamy groups or marriage, whatever groups, and you've been on there for a year or two, or I don't know how long some of these groups might have existed. You've been on there and you ain't married, and all these years you ain't been thinking about putting some money away for the time when you actually get a sister. Come on, brothers. Start using let's start thinking differently. You know what I'm saying? And so and then think about how honorable that is. You know what I'm saying? Man, I've been saving for you, sister. I've been saving for 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? Here's what I got for you. You know what I'm saying? I got 10. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Would you take this 10,000 as a mahr? You came ready. You know what I'm saying? Not without her even asking. Not you saying, sister, what you want your mahr to be? So you hoping she say something low, right? Just, you know, you got the 10 stacks, you got the 15 stacks, whatever ready. Sister, here's what I'm offering you as a gift for marriage. Would you know what I'm saying? Would you accept that or whatever? Right? You ready? Be prepared, brothers. That's really what I'm saying. Stop thinking we being cheap and like $5,000 a lot of money that's gonna, you know what I'm saying, that's gonna go a long time. It's not. It's that come on, man, that don't last no time, brother. That don't last no time. You know what I'm saying? If your rent is $1,000 or whatever, or you know, and think, come on now start thinking like if you had kids by her, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking, if I was just mentioning in a case where she's single, no kids, you know what I'm saying? Think if you have kids by her, right? You have an obligation, man. You have an obligation, especially when you wanted to end the marriage. You know what I mean? I know it's some controversy sometimes when the sister wants to end the marriage with khula. You really didn't want it, as angry as beef and all that different stuff, but you initiated, you issued the talaq, you wanted to be over with and stuff like that. You had, you know what I'm saying? You didn't like the sister, right? you know what I'm saying? And that shouldn't even be the case either. That's, you know what I'm saying? That should be irrelevant, what I just said. That should be irrelevant, you know, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? May Allah forgive us, you know, for however we may mistreat women. But there, at the end of the day, no matter what beef that you might have had with that woman, you know what I'm saying? She's still a Muslim. She's a Muslimah. She's your ukht, your sister fil Islam. Fillah. Right? She's still your sister. Now just think about any sister that, you know what I'm saying, came and walked through the doors of a masjid or whatever, and man, this sister is in need of help. Would you not help her? You know what I'm saying? For the sake of Allah. Sister, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know, you know the sister just lost her everything in a fire or something. Man, you know what I got? 200, 300, you know what I'm saying? To get her situated, you know what I mean? Even if it's, you know, a hotel, but if y'all can find her, you know what I'm saying, the brothers or whoever community get together to find her a place or whatever, that's even better, you know what I mean? So, but think about this as you have some connection to that you laid with. This was your wife, so she's no longer your wife anymore, but she's still your sister. But there was something there, and if she had a child for you, you know what I'm saying, there's still something there. So you do what you can do. You do what you can do. You know what I'm saying? I know everyone got different situations. You know what I'm saying? When it's in, you do the best you can. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that you can do. You know, so you can help from what you can. And sisters, y'all got to understand too, don't ask a person for more than what they can have. You know what I'm saying? If he can aid you and help you, That's between him. He has to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He do it the best he can do to help and support. Okay. So brothers, just start rethinking about, this, thinking this amount of 5,000 or 10,000 or seven or whatever it may be, it's a whole lot of money. It don't go too far. You know what I'm saying? And we shouldn't think, we should have husnul dhan with our Muslims, not thinking, oh, they just trying to get rich or whatever, man, trying to do your research too. Like the sisters be trying to research on the brothers do research on the sister the best you can, that she ain't just scamming, like, okay, marry, divorce, saying, just trying to, come up on a dowry and then a few days try to run off with, I don't know what, saying, I'm sure a lot of scams go on, I can't recall coming across that situation where the sister just ran off with a, Mary, and he give her a dowry and she run off. I haven't personally come across that type of situation. A lot of helpers. I've come across a whole lot of other stuff, but I just haven't. I've heard about those things, but that's, not a lot of, what I'm saying. But I haven't heard of, personally had to deal with any situations like that, as far as I can remember. So brothers, just rethink things. Start saving. Put something away for your marriage. Put, if you could stash away $200 a month. Because if you can't stash away $200 a month, then rethink your situation. Rethink your hustle. Rethink about what you're doing. You know what I mean? Because you should be able to at least put 200 a month. And so 200 a month, after a year you got 24. After 2 years you got 48. So that's close. That's the 5,000 right there. You know what I mean? So you can get the money. You hang around on social media and these Muslim matrimonial sites for a year, 2 years. You could come up. If you can't come up with that money and save that, then I guess she wasn't that important for you. A marriage wasn't important for you. Then maybe you shouldn't be married. You know what I mean? Because if you can't prioritize and just put something away, especially if you as a single male, when you don't have responsibilities, what's going to happen when you do have the responsibility? Huh? Because it's easy when it's just yourself, what I'm saying? But when now you do have the responsibility of that sister, right? The wife now, your expenses are going to be more. Okay? They could be more. You know what I mean? Things could happen. Sister could get sick, or this or whatever it may be, and things could happen. You know what I mean? So, brothers, this is just a reminder. These are my points. These are my opinions. Like it, love it. You know what I'm saying? If you disagree, let me know. If you agree, let me know. If it's something I should look at myself, let me know. Barakallahu fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.